G'day, punters. Welcome back to another huge edition of All In. We have a massive Newmarket coming up down at Flemington and a Coolmore coming for you from Rosehill. First of all, Lewis Willoughby live from the sales in Melbourne. How are you?
Yeah, good, Gannon. Good, Dino. Yep, here at English Premier Sales. Checking out a few, putting my hand up for none. You guys don't pay me enough to do that kind of stuff, so we'll see what we can do. But yeah, you're right. It was a big weekend, and we push on through the autumn to some more Group 1s, the Newmarket down the straight, the Coolmore back at Sydney. So it's going to be big.
And Dean Watling from the Barrier Attendant, mate. How was your weekend? Been down in Melbourne partying hard, I hear.
It's been a good weekend. I was at the races at Flemington, which was outstanding on Saturday. Sydney and Melbourne were great. We've got plenty of horses to follow. Af Cabin, Jack and O both went under, but we're back again. The Coolmore looks a spectacle, as it always is. And up in Sydney, down in Melbourne, the Newmarket as well looks a really, really good race.
What a weekend it was, lads. So we had Artorias. Wow, gee, I got that wrong. What an enormous win that was over the Kiwi Imperatriz, who look like at the 100, at the 50, probably even the 25, that you'd be in the queue, ready to go, collecting your coin. But wow, Zach Purton's a freak. 2 Group 1 winners. Even managed to get Communist home. So that'll do me. And the Kiwi that we probably flew under our radar, Legato down at the Australian Guineas, was enormous. So that was a really, really great weekend of racing. And I just can't wait for this weekend, boys. Before you do move on to that, Lewis Willoughby, you've got a ride of the week for us.
Yeah, well, it's got to go to Zach for either of his 2 Group 1 wins. Let's be honest. He kind of put himself under pressure coming out here because he was, talked a big game. J-Mac come to Hong Kong and, all that kind of stuff. So then to come back and produce 2 pearlers in Group 1 races in Sydney was outstanding. Artorias, it was funny when Osipenko got scratched, and that was my best all in play. And then Imperatriz hits the front, and I just went, I knew I should have made this the best. 50 to go, 25 to go. Just how stupid am I? I didn't make this the best, and just bombs at Artorias in the last few strides. So that was big. So it's got to go to Zach. He's torn it up on the weekend.
Dominant, absolutely dominant. My heart just sunk. Dean Watling, couple of horses to follow from down in Melbourne, I believe.
Yeah, just a different one this week. We normally try to black book or follow horses who sort of either run into the placings or look for flashing light, but out of the English Splint at Flemington, fellas, a horse by the name of Bendete, I think is the pronunciation. She has absolutely destroyed them in that race by about 5 lengths. The race is rated absolutely through the roof. I think she's a Group 1 horse in the making. It looked like a very open field leading into it. I think it was $6 a field, but coming out of it, I think clarity is a lot better. So I think we can put her in the black book out of race 6 there at Flemington.
I think that was a race that Overpass may have came out of last year as well, and then turned up big time throughout its preparation in the spring. So
it's always been a good
shaping him.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Opal Ridge was scratched on race day, so obviously he didn't go around, but I don't think it would have mattered. I think he would have ran second to this girl. She was phenomenal.
Righto, boys. I'm going to kick off here with a Coolmore over 1,500 metres at Rosehill. It is scorching up here, lads. I know you're in Melbourne, but it is proper 39 degrees out west today, and I think we're going to have hot and sunny days until then. So I'll be pouring the irrigation on, but there's a big risk this track. 1,500 metres Rosehill. This Rosehill track on a dry deck will be leaderish, so keep that in mind. We've got Anavisto is $4, Zougotcha $5.50, Fangirl $6, and Sunshine in Paris, a horse I didn't mind, around the $11 mark. Louis, you want to kick us off there with your thoughts on the Coolmore?
Yeah, so Coolmore Classic, 1,500, back to Rosehill. If you're looking for some form lines to look through in terms of history, Millie Fox and the Guy Walter. A lot of the previous winners have come through those 2 races. So Heavens Above back in 2017. Daisy Doom won the Millie Fox. Dixie Blossoms ran second in a Guy Walter. Crone 2 years ago won a Guy Walter. So they're the kind of races you can kind of do your form off for this. It's a good one. I'm going to lean to Zougotcha, and I think probably best for me to let Dino explain that one further. I won't do it any justice. I didn't have a strong opinion early on the race, probably leaning to Zougotcha on that second line, to be fair. Dino?
Yeah, outstanding contest, and you did mention Zougotcha. I thought she was phenomenal first up, 1,400 metres, obviously had that setback, but she was probably the one out of that run that probably had the most progression. And I ran into some Charlie Duckworth last night at a venue who gave us a big tip for her in this race. So I really like her, Louis. I agree with you too. I think the top two in the market have been really well found, but at the same time, they're the two chances. The only knock on Anavisto is that dominant first up win. They can often regress off that. That looked like a proper first up, really fresh type of setup. But obviously, 3 weeks between runs suits really well. So I think they're going to play out the market, and I'm happy to back both of those odds. I don't think anything else can beat them. They can both sit up on speed. So
from a putting perspective as well, Dino, to declare Anavisto first up, better the autumn, to now butter up second. It's a risky one, isn't it? I'd have to be, surely.
Yes, exactly. Hopefully a few listeners out there got on the $29 that we tipped up on the show to back in the Cornwall, but it is a little bit like that. But she's come back better, no doubt. But it's just, you just don't know. You just love to be in the camp and just know how she's come through that run. Has she gone on again, et cetera, et cetera.
It's a big risk, isn't it, lads? The Anavisto second up. I tell you what, I do have a question, though. Sunshine in Paris, $11. She would have won by further if she got out. And Zugocha second up, Wallace stable. I know Charlie's giving you the push there on the 2-week backup. There has to be risk there. If we're talking all in plays, I can't see how you don't take some of the $11 Sunshine in Paris. I get the bit of a map query there, but she has actually landed more forward than what we've seen in the past in recent runs. I think $11 is a great price, and I think if you're all in betting, that's the horse that's going to shorten. That's the horse you want to be on. But Fangirl, all of a sudden, no animo here. Come on, please. What's doing?
Yeah, but just because you take one horse out of the race doesn't mean they just turn around and win. You're still running how you're running. I get it. But I guess if you're looking at it and you're looking for the form line, Animo probably is the form line that you'd follow into any Group 1 race, right?
All right.
He's all right.
He's not bad.
But I just, it could be overhyped that though, because just because he's not there doesn't mean that she'd come out and blitz them, you know?
Yeah, righto, boys. I'll go first. Sunshine in Paris. My Coolmore tip, Dino?
My tip is Zugocha.
Louis?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Duckworth male, Zugocha. That sounds genuine too. I saw him in a bar at the casino in the pub at the you know. That's my friend's trainer's dog's son kind of tip, surely.
By the look of Dino this morning, I'd suggest to you that he was definitely at a bar somewhere. All right, boys, let's move on to the Newmarket. I tell you what, this is the race of the year so far. I don't think I've seen a horse race that lines up better than this. This is absolutely mouth-watering. And before, Louis, you get to some stats and some figures and even some odds there, I'm just going to read out some horses here that I just think, wow. And I've got some questions for you boys, which we'll touch on because we've got a bit of time to touch on this. But we've got I Wish I Win, you've got Baller, you've got Bella Nipotina, and a couple of others coming through, Buenos Noches coming through the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes form line. And then you got horses like In Secret, then coming through Sydney, and then you got Marzu and Private Eye first up, just to name a few. Real throwing up in the air and see where they land sort of stuff here, isn't it? Because there's different form lines everywhere. Louis, give us some background as to how we're going to win this race, what profile, and then some odds.
Yeah, so last 7 years, it's funny if you compare form lines. Let's take the Lightning and the Oakley. You'd think perhaps maybe that the Lightning would be the one, but only 2 of the last 7 have come through the Lightning, and that was who was that? Sunlight and Redkirk Warrior's second win. Redkirk Warrior's first win back in 2017 was first up. The Oakley Plate, you've got Zutori, Bivouac, and the quarterback back in 2016. Now, it's interesting to note that those 3 runners, Zutori, Bivouac, and the quarterback, actually finished midfield or a bit down the track in an Oakley. So you don't necessarily have to be up there, but it's 3v2 in terms of recent winners to the Oakley versus the Lightning. And I'll touch on my selection in a second. That's kind of the way I'm heading. I Wish I Win's the favourite, understandably so, $2.80. In Secret at $4.50. Private Eye at $5. Buenos Noches at $9. Marzu 11, first in double figures with Lofty Strike at 13. I end on Lofty Strike because that's who I am really keen on here at $13. I think it's a huge bet. Comes through the Oakley. That we were talking about that at the time as being perhaps the race of the autumn. So to back up here in another huge race, it makes a bit of sense. I think in my personal opinion, I think it was the run of the race. It came from 13th at the 600 to finish really not far off them. They went quick, ran huge sectionals home. So it's chasing a hot speed and running medium fast sectionals in a Group 1. I think it's destined to win a race at the top level. They're very open and public in saying that they're going here. I think it's a huge chance. Obviously, it's racing pack kills it, but at $13, I can't see how it doesn't start shorter based off what it did last start. It's ready to strike. And, yeah, look, I wish I win. You know, off what it did in the Lightning is obviously the one to beat. But at 280, I'd rather leave that alone. And if it wins, you go, well, that was good. But at $13 for Lofty Strike, that's gotten me all over it.
Yeah, you know what? It is a very, very intriguing race, and the prices are interesting, right? Because I Wish I Win was absolutely dynamic, like so good. And I had it marked as a Doncaster horse. Then you hear that this is the target, so you can't doubt them. Dino, what are your thoughts on this race?
Yeah, I love the angle Louis makes there. I think you can tie in Lofty Strike with In Secret for the Coolmore in the spring. So I think Lofty Strike's come back probably 2 or 3 lengths better than that. And I don't know if In Secret's come back quite as much as the Martin. So you can make a really good case. The odds, I think the market's got to bang on. I can't get away from I Wish I Win. I agree it's too short in the market now to back. But I just think that run first up, you don't often see that. Break 10 seconds in your last 3 splits over 1,000 metres first up. You come from a long way back in that race. Peter Moody's flying. I just think he's really hard to beat. The big watch for me is In Secret back to 1,200 metres. I love that profile. I don't think she ran that 1,400 metres out last start. And she's obviously a winner in the Coolmore down the straight. So really good profile. But we thought the Oakley Plate was the race of the autumn. This could dead set be the race of the year with the names there. So outstanding race.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. I just cannot wait. Dino, I've got a few questions for you. So Mazu, first up, 2 from 4, the forgotten horse. No one's really mentioned it. Had a 3-horse jump out behind Snapper and Buffalo River. Then not exactly up to this level, but did win that jump out. And then had a trial in Sydney. How do you think Mazu is going? And is there a chance Mazu lines up here and measures up? Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. I love his racing padding for these setups in the down the straight. I think you always reference to the straight and think, oh, you can get a horse that's a back marker. But the horses that sit sort of just on midfield and they build into the race, they don't need to turn a foot because often they run pretty slow early and then they just keep building. So he's definitely a forgotten horse. Dry track, beautiful for him. Snowden's outstanding first up. I think he's a really big chance. And you think about it, you referenced the best sprint race of the year last year was the Everest, and he's not far away in that. So I think that's forgotten here, and he's definitely over the odds.
Louis,
it's funny you mentioned, just quickly, you mentioned the Everest, because when he ran in the Everest, I was like, I think he's a sneaky top 4 or 5 hope, and he ran really well. And I said at the end of that, when that preparation came to an end, I can't wait to see this horse next preparation. I think he's only going to get better. So it's probably remiss of me not to mention him at $11. I can't agree anymore. I think he definitely can run a big race if he's come on from last prep where he did make an Everest. I'm really, really keen to see what he can pull out this preparation.
Lou, just one for the punters out here, because obviously we're just going to cover this race in a bit more depth here. Rockin' Horse comes to the Oakley Plate.
Yep. And won this race last year. Won this race last year. So trying to do a Red Kirk Warrior and win it back-to-back. It's a straight track start, $21. I thought, look, a lot of the comment out of the Oakley was, get it back down the straight. To be fair, and although that might be true, the run maybe was a touch under par to then line up in this field and be winning. Just because you get back down the straight doesn't mean that you
had a setback though as well, right?
Lengths. Yeah, look, I think I have to respect previous winner. $21 is a good price, but I would be happy to. At $21. Not sure if they go there, but like a Star Patrol or even an Asfura at $17, we potted a bit in the Oakley Plate and to be honest, ran really, really well.
Indeed,
I'd probably more around them, to be fair.
Love it, lads. And last one, I'll go to you, Dino, before I give you my thoughts. Private Eye. First up, last time out, beat Rockin' Horse, beat Baller in the Gilgai over 1,200, and probably we liked what we saw, but went on to bigger and better things throughout the prep. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's a phenomenal horse, and I really hope they do keep him to the shorter trips this time in. I think we saw that last preparation, how electric he was first up, and then in the Everest, and then his win. Then he went down to Melbourne and ran over the 1,600 metres. It was flat, so he's another sneaky one. It's just probably a credit to the race that you could dead set make a case for so many of these. But
you can't talk anyone out of it, can you? And it's interesting. I went back and watched Private Eye's trials, and if you're a trial perv like Dino, you know this. But Joe Price horses, when they're flying, they jump elite. Like they jump in their first 100 metres. It's fantastic. And Private Eye just gone like in its last trial, ready to go. And don't worry about what the numbers tell you in regards to what it finished, who it finished behind. The horse is flying, ready to go. I think it's great, guys. And I'm going to go, interestingly enough, and this is no surprise, I'm going with Bonus Numbers. I think 50 kilos odd down there, $9. I just think that this is the horse we want to be on. If we go back to the last start in the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes, I thought 1,000 metres was going to be a bit too short. 1,200 is what it needed. Gets it today. I thought I'd touch on Bellini Patina as well. Obviously, it was a good run. We haven't talked on her yet, but she probably had the PRs, but perfect run of the race, right? Like just sat behind Colin Gannon if possible. So really great race. Cannot wait to see it. It's going to be enormous, boys. I'm with Buenos Noches. Dino, who you got?
I'm with I Wish I Win.
Louis?
Yeah, I'm going to go with, where's it gone? Lofty Strike, sorry.
Outstanding. All right, boys. So the best all-in play of the week, win, place each way. I'm going to kick off. I'm just going to say the best all-in is Sunshine in Paris, the place around the $3.30 mark. I think that's the best all-in play you can have this week. Dino?
Yeah, my best all-in play is in the Coolmore. I think Zoo Gotcha will get the money. I think it's around the right price. Expect it to land up on speed and be mighty hard to beat, Louis.
Yep, well, I am 3 from 3 with my all-in plays. Of course, with Osapenko being scratched, that was money back into the account. Green. So if you're having a strip out, you would have got money back because it was scratched. I'm going to go each way on Lofty Strike. I have to stick to my guns here. I think $13 is a massive price. I'm a big, big fan of the horse. I think it deserves a Group 1. Racing pattern is tough. It's going to need a lot of luck, but hopefully it draws the right side of the track. And I think with a good ride, it can be very, very, very competitive, even amongst these top-level horses.
I didn't realise the Green Company gave you your money back if you lost on an all-in bet, Louis. All right, boys. I thought I'd get in there before the viewers did because you'll cop a hiding for that. Best midweek bets. I'm going to go to Taree on a Tuesday. Race 2, La Vis. Is that how we're pronouncing it, Lou?
No, Vesuvius, like Mount Vesuvius.
Oh, my God. La Vesuvius. And I've just kind of made it up myself because you did tell me that 3 times. La Vesuvius, race 2, number 3. Don't laugh, Dino. There's no one worse than you at pronouncing names. You're getting $3.60. You're getting $3.60 out of the horse to get the job done. Dean, give the comedy a rest and give the punters a winner, son. What do you got for us?
That is the best. Straight to the jugular. My bets, all-in midweek bet, Renwick Kensington, race 3, and number 4, Captain Amelia. First starter for the O'Shea camp, J-Max 6, Barrier 6. I love the Kenzo track. It's probably my favourite Sydney. So race 3, number 6 at Renwick Kensington. Louis?
Do you have off the top of your head a J-Mac O'Shea first up stat, Dino? Because I know you're big on that.
I don't, but I have a really good stat, and you know it too. With John O'Shea horses, once they draw inside Barrier 6, they're a lot more profitable rather than Barrier 6 and out. So he draws right on gate 6, or she does. So I'll get that stat though. I'll post in the comments on the YouTube video.
There you go, punters. Not only is he tip you in to win, is he give you all the data around it as well. Louis, best for midweek.
We should be paying him. Well, I haven't got anything for Melbourne yet Wednesday. The fields haven't been released. So I'm going to take you way out wide to Strathalbyn. Race 3 at Strathalbyn. The top weight, Arwen, for the Will Clarkin and then Nicky O'Shea camp. It's third up. It's had 2 second placings this preparation. Draws Barrier 7. Todd Panel gets aboard. Finds what looks on paper at this stage anyway, without doing the form, a pretty winnable race. And I like following their stable with confidence. So that'll be me, race 3-1 at Strat.
So, punters, if I just work through the weeds for you there, Louis copped a tip from the Clarkin stable and the horses airborne. All right, lads. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, Dino. You get back to bed. Louis, you go buy some horses for us.
Can do.
Thank you, fellas. Good night.